So in this video I will be discussing code forces around 961 rated for division 2. So I will be solving problem A and B2 part of problem 1B because B1 is easy. So let's start with problem number 8, that is diagonals. So in this question you will be given a grid like this and an integer number k which represent the number of chips which you have to keep on this diagonal or on this grid. So there's a definition of diagonal in this question. So what is that definition? The definition says that the cells whose I plus j is equal, they come in a same diagonal. For example, this point, this point, this point, and this point, having the I plus j equal, so they all lie in a same diagonal. Similarly, this diagonal, this diagonal, this diagonal, the I plus j is equal, so these three diagonals lies in a same diagonal set. Similarly, these three also lies in a same diagonal set. So you have to tell them what are the minimum number of diagonal set which you can occupy, which k with k chipset. So the problem is pretty much easy. First of all, you will try to utilize the diagonal with the maximum size, and the largest diagonal is of size n only. So subtract n from k, and similarly, then subtract the second largest diagonal that is of size n minus 1. And please make sure that there are two diagonals of size n minus 1, and just repeat the process till your k is greater than 0 and maintain a count of the number of diagonal sets which you are subtracting and return the answer. So this problem was easy. So let's now discuss the problem number B, that is B2, that is bonked and whatever it is, harder version. So in this question you will be given n different types of flowers in a store, and each flower represents the number of petal on it, and the cost of that flower is the number of petal on it. And the girls want now, but the girl want says that girl want says that the number of the difference between any two flower in her flower set should not exceed by one. Okay, now she also having only limited amount of coins. Okay, now she also have a limited amount of coins which she can spend. She cannot spend more than that. So what is the maximum number of petals she can assemble in her bonket? Okay, whatever it is, uh, please write in comments. So but why this problem is different from B1, because the number of flowers of each petal can be as large up to 1 9. Okay, so in this problem we are given three arrays. First array represents the in this problem we are given two arrays. First array represents the number of petal on a flower. Second array represents the number of flowers of that type. Okay, great. So how we can approach this problem? So this problem very much I think so mathematical type. Uh, but how? Let me explain you how. But also, for example, this is the array given to me. Now what I can do? So this is the petal on each and every flower, and this is the count of each and every flowers. So for example, this represents my money. Okay, this is a long sequence which represents my money available to me. So first I will do, you know one thing, that the difference between any two flowers should not exceed by 1, which means if you are taking a flower P1 and a flower P2, then and P2 is greater than P1, then you know one thing that then you know one thing that P1 plus 1 is equal to P2. Okay. Now this is for sure. Now this is for sure. Now first of all what you will do, you will try to greedily divide the money in with an only P1 only. With only P1. Okay. I will try to divide my money with only P1. I will tell you later, you will consider that this is not right, but I will tell you why it is right for this case. So first of all, try to divide greedily P1 only. Okay, for example, if this much money, for example, if this is if this mu- okay, if this much money is used by P1 only. Okay, if this much money is used by P1 only, for example, this represents the number of flowers. Okay, for example, this much money is used by P1 only. Okay, great. Now what you will do, you will try to divide the remaining money in P2. Okay, I will now try to divide the remaining money in P2. For example, this much money is left to me. this much money is left to me. Okay, now I'm writing it here. For example, I'm writing this sequence here. For example, this much money is left to me. Now what I will do, I will try to divide P2 in this. For example, P2 comes here. For example, the the maximum number of P2s which I can get from this segment is this much only. Okay, for this much only. Because because the size of P2 is greater. For example, the size of P2 is greater. Now you know one thing, that if I try to get one more P2, then I require more money. And you do not have this much amount of money. Okay, so you will not consider that part. Okay, okay, great. Now you know one thing, that difference between P1 and P2 is of only one. Yes, and you are having you are left with this much amount of money. I am left with this much amount of money. Okay, great. I okay. Now you know one thing, that this money has an internal segment of each and every point, which represents the petal only, which represents petal only. Now if I try to check, if I am having with the remaining petals, if I am left with the remaining petals of size P1, because this is P1 and this is P2. Now if I try to check, if I am left with remaining petals of P1, then what I can do, and also remaining petal of P1 and remaining petal of P2, then what I can do, I can simply summarize this one petal in this P1 only. And if I summarize this one petal in this P1, then what it will become? It will become P2, because P2 is just one size greater than P1. Okay, but the condition is that I should have the remaining P2 available to me. Yes, if I am having remaining P2 available to me, then what I can do, I can simply summarize this one petal in this previous P1, which will make it P2. Okay, so that's how you can increase your count. Similarly, this this single petal should be merged in this petal. By merging this single petal in this flower would become P2. And if it be now if it is becoming P2, then my number of petals would be increased. And what I have to do, I have to increase the number of petals. So this is the only available approach by you can solve this problem. So this is the general overview. So let me now tell you the whole scenario, how you can actually solve this problem. This is a general overview, what approach I will be using. Let me represent it again. For example, okay, for example, this is the money available to me. I'm taking the same case. Now I'm marking some points. I'm marking some points on this petal, on this money. This represents the petal only, not the flower. Make sure this represents the petal, not the flower. Because my money is the number of petal which because you know one thing, my money is the number of petal. Remember one thing, my money is the number of petal. So that's why I'm dividing money as the number of petals only. Now I'm taking a case. For example, I am having total number of for example, I am having total number of but example I can take. For example, I am only having for I'm having uh, three petal of three size. I am having three petals of three size. Okay, great. Now how I can, first of all I will greedily take all of the petal of size 3. So how I can take? I will take this case. I will block this. Now I will block this, because each and every, because a flower is having three petals. So I'm blocking three petals. Okay, great. I think so I can take more. So for example, I'm having 5. If I'm having 5, so I can block these 3 also, or I can block these 3 also. So now you know one thing, these petals are being blocked by, let me change the color. So these petals are blocked by flower of size 3. Okay. Now I am remaining with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now I am remaining with 17 petals. I am remaining with 17 petals. So how we can consider next part? For example, now I am having total number of mm, what I can take, I think so 7 petals of size 4. Okay, so I am having 7 petals of size 4 each. So how you can get, so how I can divide this. Now I will divide this into further part. I will take these 4 petals. One, uh, I will take this one, two, three, four. Okay. Now next 4. One, two, three, four. Okay. Now next 4. One, two, three, four. Okay. Now next 4. One, two, three. Yes, 4. Okay. I think so. I can increase the money to get the better overview. Let me increase the money. Now, one, two. This total this. So this is the money which I am having. So now you know one thing. That tell me, can you take one more petal of, can you take one more flower of size 4? The answer is, I think so, it is limited to, okay. For better use case, let me write it only. I'm increasing money by 2 units. Okay. Make sure I'm increasing money by 2 units. Now tell me, can can you keep any more flower of size 4 here? No, you cannot make. You cannot keep because the reason is simply the reason the reason is pretty much simple, because you don't have enough money. Okay, great. Now you also know one thing. This is blocked by petal of size 4. Now what you can do? These two money is left with you. Now you know one thing. These two money is left with you. And how many fours which you have? How many petals of size 4 you have consumed? You have total consumes 4 petals of size 4. The remaining flower of size 4 is with you is 3. Okay, great. Now you are having 3 flowers of size 4. You are having 2 money left. So can you utilize this 2 money? Yes, I can utilize this 2 money. But how? If I add this petal, if I add this petal in this 3, wouldn't this 3 become a petal of size 4? Yes. And you are also having a size of petal 4 available to you. Yes. So I can utilize this. And similarly, this remaining petal, can we merge in this petal? Yes or no? Can we merge in this flower? Yes or no? Yes, it can be merged. If this petal is merged in this flower of size 3, this flower would now become a size would now become a flower of size 4. Now you are utilizing 2 more flowers of size 4. Minus 2 is equal to 1. Now you are remaining one now you are remaining with one flower of size 4. Remember one thing. Initially you are having 5 flowers of size 3, but these 2 flowers are now become of size 4. So this now you are not utilizing 5 flowers of size 3. Now you are utilizing only 3 flowers of size 3. Rest you are using rest you are utilizing 4. Now rest you are utilizing 6 flowers of size 4. So this is your final count. Okay. Now here you can see, using this example, I have utilized the remaining count also, and that's you can get your answer. Hope so this explanation is clear to you. Let me now show you the code of this statement. First of all, I will first of all take the input array 1 and input array 2. Okay. Now I'm mapping each and every flower bit with its count. Okay, with its count. Okay. Now what I'm doing? First of all, counting the first of all, this is the number of petal in flower 1. This is the count of flower 1. Okay. Now what I'm doing? I'm utilizing the flower 1 at its fullest capacity. Okay. Now this is the number of flowers which I can kept in my money. Okay, which I can divide it. Okay, great. Now what I will do? I will simply add. This is X represents the number of petals. I will simply add P1 into the number of petal which I can have, because it will be minimum of the number of flowers which I have plus the minimum number of flowers which I can add. Okay, it justifies the answer. For example, in this whole money, what was the size? The size, for example, what is the size of this money? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So the size of this money was 32. 32 divided by 3 is 10. Okay, yes. Now you can add 10 flowers of size 3, but you're only having 5 flowers of size 3. So you will choose 5. Yes, you will choose only 5. You can't choose 10. You will choose 5 only. Yes, I'm choose 5 only. So this is what it represents, the minimum of count 1 comma cs1. Okay, so what I will do, I will simply multiply the 3 with the minimum which I can add, and I will use this m3 letter. Okay, remember this, I will use this m1 letter. Now I will subtract the number of petals which I use from my money. Okay, great. Now this is the money left with me. Now this is the, for example, in this case, this is the money which is left with me. Money underscore represents dash money. Okay. Now if my map contains petal plus one, which means I, for example, if I'm currently on 3, then my petal contains 4. Then go in this case. If my map contains 4, then what I could do, I will simply find the number of petals which I can consume from petal 4. Similarly, taking that only. Now this is the minimum of petal 4 which I have plus minimum which I can use. Similarly, doing this same operation. Okay, great. Now if I'm having remaining money, for example, in this case it was 2. If I'm having uh, if I'm having remaining money, if I'm having remaining money, then what I will do, I will simply check if I'm having remaining number of flowers of size of bigger size, because at then I am increasing the flower of bigger size only. That's what I will checking. If I'm having left, if I have left with some number of bigger flowers. Yes, if it is true, then I will find the number of leftover flowers. Okay, I will count the number of leftover flowers. Okay, for example, in this case, how many leftover flowers which I was having? Initially, I have utilized 4 flowers, and I was remained with 3 flowers. Okay, I was remained with 3 flowers and 2 money. Okay, I was remained with 3 flowers of size 4, but I was only having 2 money. So I will count the minimum number of left I would have. Okay, minimum left would I have. For example, I have, okay, for example, I'm only remained with 2 flowers. I'm only remained with 2 money and 3 flowers. So I can only add 2 petals. I cannot add 3 petals. So that's what I'm doing in this minimum condition. Because if my number of flowers are minimum, or my remaining money is minimum, because that is the amount of flowers petal which you will add in a smaller number. Yes, that is true. So simply add, because m1 is, so remember m1. This is the minimum number of count which you have used. That is, in this case it was 5 only. So first of all, then add the count of minimum of flower left to you, comma this number of uh, uh, plus the number of flower which you are converting to bigger flower. So simply add that in your answer, because this is the number of petals which will increase your final answer. So for each and every case repeated, and find the maximum answer which you can generate. So that's how you can solve the problem B2. If you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Till then, stay tuned for the next one. Thank you.